St. Benedict Parish, it has a very interesting history in the sense that it has what you may call typical days of very little beginning. We started out, less than a decade ago as a parish. Before then, we were in a neighboring village called Lokogoma.
St. John's Parish Katie was being manned by Father James Abamu, who was the parish priest. He handed over to Father Ben Udemba, who took over from him. Then, under Father Ben, St. Peter's now moved us to St. Benedict. And it was under Father Ben. He built this bacha that you can see the picture. Father Ben Udemba left us with Father Tom Alson, who became our first parish priest under the bacha.
We started from Dogongada. So from that Dogongada, we now moved to Efa. Mwara gave us a temporal place where we moved from there to this place.
Because it was at St. Peter's that we met the owner of the estate here, Chief Mwara, who promised to give us the land.
In 2012, I was here. And it was at the bacha that we were worshipping. And that bacha has no interlock. When I came back around December, I saw improvements. They've already had the interlock in the church. And since then, I've been worshipping here. And it's been a wonderful experience moving from the bacha with our flood story.
So as a parish, we accepted it, and we began to plan how we will actually begin work in that at that site. So while that plan was going on, we had a harvest activity for that year. So we had a fundraising for us to commence that work. We produced a prototype of the church to be at the site, and then we have the fundraising at the ICC in the central area. So that fundraising was done there. The cardinal was in attendance, and it was through us building the church. So we displayed the church prototype design there. People made pledges, and we were prepared to commence work at the site.
The church building, when we made a parish, we were given a plot of land which we to build on. But because of the nature of the terrain, the first plot of land that was given to us, we felt that it was not good enough for us to build a parish church. And then we met the owner of the estate to reallocate another plot of land to us. And he was very gracious enough to do that. He gave us another plot of land, but initially we were reluctant. A lot of us were skeptical because of the challenging nature of the terrain. But some of us, a couple of us, thought that the terrain is not that bad. We can, do something good out of it.
The designs were made and we were able to start it. In fact, we were afraid, some of us, including me, were afraid that this place was not going to be very suitable for a church because it had water. The water level here is quite close. But we have been able to make use of the space, and it's shown that it's possible to transform a place that was not looking very good to a place that is looking good.
The state of the church. When I came here as the parish priest, I took over from Reverend Father Thomas Hassan. I learned that they have been in a bacha from the beginning when the parish started. And they were looking for land, a big land, 1 hectare or thereabouts, outside of the estate, where they will build the church that will take care of the whole of Lokogoma, because Lokogoma is so big. And they have searched for this land for several times, and they were not able to get a good land that would be good for church.
We started making inquiries if this place could be put into use. He had his committee, project committee, and they started going around looking at it. We've even cleared it before he came. Then we're looking at a possibility if we could have additional portion added, for parking, space, and things like that. In earnest, we started putting plans to get this place into use. The cardinal came and have the breaking stone of this land. And since then, work has started.
It was a parish that was in a bacha state, and we see everything in the structure as temporary. The floor was made of interlocks, which is removable, and then we had a chapel of perpetual adoration that was made of container, which is also temporary, and then we had our church covered of tarpaulin. The sides of the church was covered with tarpaulin, which was also removable. So you realize that it was a church that was in its most humble state at the time I joined. You can imagine how it was before I came. So we met it that way, but one sweet thing that got someone like me committed is I could see the spirit of oneness, love, and the blessings of God radiating in the parish, not minding that it was in the bachelor state, as I earlier mentioned.
When I formed the project committee, I brought them to this place. We prayed. After praying, I told them to go home and think about what we can come up with. And I called them after a week or 2 weeks, and then some persons started bringing ideas, and that's how we started. Though some persons were not happy with that it will change the plan of the parish. The plan of the parish is to get a big land outside of the estate, a land that will not be inside any of the estates, where we can build a very big church, where everybody will come out from his own estate and attend. So I said that we will not change that plan. We'll continue to pursue that plan. But as much as we pursue that plan, let us start something.
When God is working, you know that God is there. Father Sisters came and saw the whole thing on ground and now said, we are building our church, and he don't want us to build anyhow church. For us to build one that will be served for a very long time. That's why you are seeing a very big structure, not just a bacha.
The church project is necessary to have a church, and it is also necessary to have a rectory for the parish. Okay, instead of us living in a rented house, spending money to pay for rent, we can, since we have land, we can invest that money into the land, and then we stop paying rent, and we can be able to take care of other needs in future. Okay, if you are paying a certain amount of money, if you gather the money you use to pay for that rent for 5 years and use it and do project, it's an investment. But after the 5 years, you will start doing another project.
A lot of things have gone in because we have to reclaim the place, proximity to the river, coupled with the kind of soil we have in Abuja. Even anywhere you have dry land, if you are building in Abuja, you have to go deep. Else, you have these issues of walls, building and things like that. So it's not peculiar to this place. But we have to evacuate.
The topography was kind of waterlogged, so they had to begin a lot of work by excavating the original soil and replacing it with hardcore and more solid reinforcement to hold the structure. So a lot of work was done in that regard, and we were part of that process. We had a new building committee. Then we equally had Project Sunday committee, which I also chaired for the church, whereby we were raising funds every Sunday or every month. We had a Project Sunday in every month. So I chaired that committee. We were able to raise some funds in that period, and we commenced the work on the present side that we are occupying. So that was really the effort of the Parish priest and a few of us who were in the committee to work with him, and also we were able to begin the foundation work of the church.
There were challenges initially because a lot of people were seeing difficulties because of the nature of the terrain. They were seeing challenges, problems. They thought that we're not going to be able to, make meaningful use of the the project, the land, you know. And secondly, they thought that the cost would be so enormous that we will not be able to muster the resources. But to the glory of God, we've been able to prove them wrong.
The state of the project right now is at the church, basically the church building, where we have just done the ground floor slab, and then we are looking at further projecting the project from there. But as at the parish house, we are done with that. Now, from the architectural point of view and the inception of it, the concept of the building came from the nature of the site and how it was. It's looking like from behind the church, it is converging towards the front where you have the parish house. And then from that point of the parish house towards the back of the church, it diverges, it opens up. So the idea and the concept of it took a shape and the form of the existing plot where we have to work on it. And then when it comes to the spaces, the design was produced in a way that it had to be managed to be able to maximize the space. So we have a sense of a basement from behind the church, where it could be used for other services, offices and all of that. And then the ground floor will carry the church, gallery on it, and then the roofing. So, but in front of it, we had to merge the parish house, the priest house, due to conservation of space and the utilization of the space of the land.
Because we started 2019 when, after Cardinal came here for groundbreaking on 13th of January 2019, immediately we started work. By November, we were able to start using the basement for worship. And immediately after that, we set out to start Father's house. By July, 12th of July, we started living in the house. And we hope, if not because of some difficulties the whole world is experiencing, I would have said that by the middle of next year, we would have roofed our church. But with God, all things are possible.
So that same year, we had the harvest in which they made altar calls for us to begin the church foundation. So people came out to contribute towards it, and we raised the initial funds along with the project committee funds. So we were able to start work at the present site, and that we were able to achieve the basement in the record period of less than 3 months or so.
Of course, the cardinal had to come to lay the foundation stone, and within a period of 8-9 months, we had gotten the church to a stage where we could come into it to do our last harvest, which was the 2019 harvest. I think that was the first time we worshipped in that church. So the challenge that was thrown up by FCDA actually became something positive. It became an opportunity, and we seized that opportunity and moved as fast as possible to where we are today. So for me, it's been a tremendous experience going through the various stages of seeing the church in a Bacha up to when we didn't have a place to worship. And finally, we are here today. We are not just the church alone has gone on. We've stopped the idea of paying rent, and Reverend Father and it's now a parish house. So for me, it's just some very good moves, and then God has been exceedingly good to us by blessing our efforts to where we are today.
Father John Sisters of Congo, being a dogged man of God, he's a fire warrior, firebrand. His approach, he's soft-speaking, he's too gentle, but spiritually, I don't know the kind of prophet that I will use to meet him with. He's spiritually sharp, that no matter how little you want to trick him, he will come back and tell you that this is the way. In fact, from his questions, you already know that you're failing, and you're failing out of the way.
Well, I would describe him as a hardworking, God-fearing, dedicated, honest, and someone committed to the priesthood and committed to the cardinal virtues, and as well as promoting the work of God. So he has led the process of moving from both the Bacha to the exile to where we are today, and I think he has done tremendously well. He's somebody that the parish in generations to come will definitely remember, because as we are writing this history, it will be extremely uncharitable if we don't commend the persons who took the bull by the horn at the most critical periods of our history.
For God's sake, he came when we were in a bacha. In his time, we had to become a church in exile. And this land that has been in existence, though it seems not usable, he was able to put it into good use with the help of some parishioners, members of building committee, members of finance committee, those who have technical capacity. He was able to harness the wealth, the resources of the church. And today, we have a mission house, we have our church project going on. So I want to see him as a cerebral priest who is knowledgeable of his job, and a development-focused priest who believes that as we build the spiritual capacity and meet the spiritual need of the parishioners, it is also important to have an edifice.
For me, it's a record. Even if he leaves the parish the way it is now and gets transferred, he has already made his stay here in St. Benedict'S, a parish, so sublime. So departing, he has left his footprints on the sands of time.
This is simply amazing grace of God in the midst of his people. So the church is a growing church. It is a developing church. And I want to commend the people. Honestly, it's been a very, very serious act of faith to stay strong and keep building for the Lord. I have seen it for myself, and I see what they are doing in my 1 month, going to 2 months of being here with them.
But I think it's been a very good race, considering when we started under a year, we've done the foundation laying, done the proper foundation with all the challenges, a waterlogged environment, built up a huge foundation, took it up to decking level, and then we are still proceeding up. So it's been quite what I would consider we've been fast, although we can be faster. And the commitment, zeal, and passion shown by parishioners is something that is unparalleled.
Given the fact that from where we're coming from a bacha to where we are now, you can see that the hand of God is in what we are doing. You don't need anybody to tell you that. So with God, all things are possible. My advice is for them is to hold on to God, and they will surely achieve and overcome.
I continue to appreciate our parishioners. They're awesome. They're great. They are people of faith, people of love. I pray that they will keep doing that, keep being who they are, keep being the family of blessings and care. Keep having that smiling face, even in the face of hardship.
Well, I will begin on a very serious note of thanksgiving to God for the community of faith that I have come to meet here. It is a lively faith, a collaborating faith, people, a people who are blessed and appreciate and are contented with the blessings of God in their lives, in their midst, in their families, and in the community here. St. Benedict's Parish, as I've come to meet it, I see a model church for the contemporary world in all phases, spiritually, temporarily, with respect to using the blessings of technology to grow the faith community as well.
We have been one family. We continue with that spirit. And I'm very happy whenever you call the parishioners, they will answer you. Let us keep that same spirit moving. Okay? United, we can do great things. Who said if we finish this one, we cannot start another one out there? Okay? Let us combine the force, put heads together, put our hands together, and continue to work to defeat the forces of evil, and then be able to make salvation. Okay? As we are building church, we're also building our spiritual life, building our souls for eternal life. Let us continue to work together till we make it into heaven.